Group 4, and for now we are going to discuss about the situational leadership style. First is 4 situational leadership styles. There are 4 leadership styles you may employ depending on how you're managing and when. You can place these different leadership styles along a graph showing your level of directive behavior in relation of your level of supportive behavior. First is directing. Style 1 is directing situational leadership style, also known as guiding or telling when directing. The level of directive behavior is high, while the level of supportive behavior is low. This leadership style is most effective with the team member requires close supervision by you as the leader, either because they inexperienced or because they have low commitment to the task at hand. Second is coaching. Style 2 is the coaching situational leadership style, also known as selling or explaining. When coaching, the level of directive behavior is high, and so is the level of supportive behavior. This situational leadership style is most effective for the enthusiastic beginner because you can observe and support them without close supervision. Third is supporting. Style 3 is a supporting situational leadership style, also known as participating or facilitating. This style differs from styles 1 and 2 because it is high in supportive behavior and low on directive behavior, making it team member driven. Use this leadership style if your team member has the skills necessary to complete the task and hand but lacks the confidence or motivation to do it successfully. As a leader, you can ask open-ended questions, determine the issue, and help find a solution. Last is delegating. Style 4 is the delegating situational leadership style, also known as empowering or monitoring. This style involves low directive behavior and low supportive behavior because it's a team member driven leadership style. When team members are self-reliant achievers, they may need you to take a backseat in your leadership role. This style promotes freedom for team members and fosters trust among teams.
This is the background about this type of leadership, which is situational leadership. Situational leadership is a style of leadership where the leaders consider the readiness level of the team member they have and the uniqueness of every situation. Paul Hersey and Ken Blanchard developed the situational leadership model in 1969 while working on management of organizational behavior. This theory was first called the life cycle theory of leadership, but in the mid-1970s, it renamed the situational leadership theory.
1. It recognizes the need for flexibility. Even though we can all find common ground with other people at some level, humans are unique individuals. We all have different experiences and perspectives that create diversity. Instead of treating everyone equally from a singular perspective, the situational leader recognizes the need to be flexible. They don't insist on a specific set of rules that must be followed by everyone. Instead, they create an environment where people are encouraged to come forward and share so that everyone can find success. 2. It creates a comfortable environment for workers. Situational leaders attempt to develop a leadership style that is tailored to their team's preparedness level or demands. For the most part, this produces an environment in which people feel at ease with their responsibilities. When employees are happy, they are more productive. This enables the leader to encourage individual employees in a way that is tailored to their needs, providing everyone a higher opportunity of achieving a successful conclusion. A. It takes different developmental phases into account. The situational leader examines specific situations rather than lumping all personnel into one generic category. Their purpose is to assess each employee's competency before boosting motivation levels using the most appropriate style for that individual. This method increases a team's effectiveness by maximizing the production of each individual team member. Leaders can vary between the many approaches that are most effective at each preparedness level since this leadership style allows for changes. 4. It increases the awareness of the leader. If they are to be effective, Situational leader must continually be on their toes. People change and evolve as a result of their daily experiences. If a worker has a horrible morning, their ability to cope with stress is likely to be reduced. By adapting to the change, the situational leader can take steps to ensure that the worker remains productive. At the same time, the agency's leadership develops empathy because each worker must be approached right. The only way to truly understand someone is to put yourself in their shoes. 5. It helps a team be able to work better together. A situational leader's approach is intuitive and adaptable. A team's maturity is always reflected in its leadership. These leaders can approach direct reports at any maturity level and offer them the advice they need. This allows team members to identify common ground with one another, lowering the likelihood of internal conflict. Problems fade away before they become difficulties that disrupt the day when a situational leaders are responsibility and responsive.
These are the disadvantages of situational leadership is it focuses more on immediate needs than long-term needs. Second, it can be ineffective in task-oriented environments. Third, it can be challenging to define maturity. Fourth, it does not provide enough information for some leaders. It may create confusion within the company.
General George Patton. General Patton is widely considered as one of the most famous and effective military leaders of the past century. General Patton didn't just lead in the battlefield, but during his time, he also produced several papers on military and war strategy. General George Patton is one of American military most revered leader and a perfect example of a situational leader.
One of the famous leaders who practiced situational leadership is Dwight D. Eisenhower. During World War II, he is often used as an example together with General George Patton, whose leadership style we'll discuss in detail in the final section. In 1969, Blanchard and Harsey published a book, Management of Organizational Behavior, which developed the theory of situational leadership.